Episode 5. The Cost of Overgiving. In the last episode, we talked about boundaries, why they matter, why they're so difficult, and why setting them often comes with guilt. Today, I want to explore what happens when boundaries aren't there. When care turns into obligation. When generosity becomes expectation. And when giving slowly turns into self-erasure. This episode is about the cost of overgiving. Overgiving doesn't usually look like a problem at first. In fact, it often looks like strength. It looks like being dependable, being the one who steps in, being the person others rely on, the one who says yes, the one who copes, the one who manages. Especially in environments like the NHS, and especially for people who care deeply, overgiving is often praised. You're committed, you're reliable, you're resilient, and you're a team player. For a long time, that feels good. But overgiving rarely announces itself. It doesn't arrive with alarms or warnings. It creeps in quietly. You stay a bit later. You carry a bit more. You absorb someone else's stress. You smooth things over. You protect others from difficulty. You tell yourself it's temporary. And because you can do it, you do. For many of us, overgiving isn't a choice we consciously make. It's something we learn. Sometimes it's learned early, by being the responsible one, the calm one, the one who doesn't cause trouble. Sometimes it's learned professionally, in cultures that reward sacrifice and endurance. And sometimes it's learned through survival, when caring for others becomes a way of staying safe, valued, or needed. The problem is this: overgiving doesn't just cost time or energy. It costs self-connection. You slowly lose track of what you need. You stop noticing signals from your body. You ignore fatigue. You push through discomfort. You normalise exhaustion. And often, the first thing to go is rest. Because rest feels undeserved. In my own life, overgiving showed up in subtle ways. Continuing to lead while unwell. Carrying responsibility when my body was also already under strain. Absorbing pressure because I didn't want to let anyone down. Doing more because I was capable, not because it was healthy. And for a long time, I didn't see it as overgiving. I saw it as commitment, as professionalism, as strength. But the body keeps score. When boundaries are missing, the body often becomes a messenger. Fatigue deepens. Breath shortens. Sleep becomes restless. Stress stops switching off. And eventually, the body says what the mind wouldn't allow. Enough. Overgiving isn't generosity. It's generosity without protection. True generosity includes self-respect. It includes limits. It includes sustainability. Overgiving, on the other hand, slowly drains the very thing that allows us to care well. Our health, our clarity, our presence. There's a moment many people recognise when you realise you're not giving from abundance anymore. You're giving from obligation, from fear of disappointing others, from identity, from habit. And stepping back feels uncomfortable. Not because it's wrong, but because it challenges who you've learned to be. If you're listening to this and recognising yourself, I want to say this gently. You didn't overgive because you were weak. You overgave because you cared. But caring without limits has a cost. And learning to notice that cost is not failure, it's emotional maturity. This episode isn't about fixing anything yet. It's about awareness. Because once you can see overgiving for what it is, you can start making different choices. And that's where real leadership of self or others begins. In the next episode, we'll explore what happens when caring itself starts to feel heavy, when emotional labour accumulates, and when being the supportive one quietly takes its toll. But for now, simply notice. Notice where you gave more than you have. Notice where rest feels difficult. Notice where being strong has become automatic. That awareness is the first boundary. If this episode resonated with you, particularly if you're someone who gives a lot, holds things together for others, or rarely feels able to stop, you're very welcome to follow Becoming Unbreakable for future episodes. And if you know someone who is quietly exhausted from always being the strong one, sharing this episode might help them feel seen, understood, and less alone.